So how does one call Krishna to the houses? So for that, the house has to be cleaned and swept. So we must not have anything in it which he will not like, which should not be dirty. Sathguru says, are you going into tomorrow carrying the burdens of 1,000 yesterdays? Are we going into tomorrow carrying the burdens of 1,000 yesterdays? When we just think in our mind, we just sit down and watch our mind for a little while. How much of past there is in it? How much of past there is in it? And we are conditioned into thinking so many ways because of our environment, because of the family background which we have, because of our friends. All these things make us think in a certain way. All these thoughts come to our mind and stay in our mind. The car goes on the road, we hear the sound of the car. Then we think about cars. Then we think, they have got a nice car, should I change my car? All these things come to mind. So all these things are coming and filling our mind. And we are carrying, see for example in Ayurveda, we are going to have a treatment. First thing what they say is detoxify the body. They give us medicines to take out all what's in our body. And I remember reading long ago that each potato has a little amount of arsenic in it, which collects in our body when we eat it. But it's so small that it doesn't make any difference to us. So this is probably why they say that we detoxify the body. So in our bodies, in our mind, we are carrying the prarabdha karma of our own cells, what we have brought from our previous births. And see, like for example, for diabetics, they do a blood test, and they say how the sugar has been for the past 3 months. So the memory of those 3 months are in the body, of how the sugar was for the past 3 months is in the body. Similarly, there are so many vibrations of our parents, our ancestors. So when we say go there and we say the nakshatra, when the temple, we say the gotra, we say the family name and all that, then what happens is that we are linking with them. So then the prayer which comes, it goes to the ancestors also. And the nakshatra, because that is how the situation is when we are born. We are linked to a certain mindset because of the astral influences at that moment. So when we say that, we are identifying ourselves just like in a passport, how it is like that. We are the person born with these astral influences. So all this we are carrying with us. We are also carrying the good and bad deeds of our ancestors also. To an extent it comes to us. We are also carrying the good and bad deeds of our children, of our disciples. All that also comes to us. So, a human being is a vessel in which so many things are being filled. So many things are there. So then, how will Krishna come? How can Krishna come into our house when it's full of furniture? When on the chairs and of our drawing room is filled with old memories, is filled with all those people whom we don't like, all the people whom we like, all of them are sitting on the chairs. There's nowhere for Krishna to sit. So we have to remove all those things from our minds. So Sathguru says, in your mind there can be only two things, either God or the world. You have to choose what you want. But we have to live in the world. At the same time we have to live in the world. Wherever we are, we have to live in the world. We have to think of how our lives are going to be and what we are going to do. We cannot wish away our connections, our family, our friends, our associations. We can't wish away that. Even a sannyasin has to live in the world. He has to live in association with various things. And how does he do it? He does it by. So what we have to do is we have to understand that everything is little vessels of water and the sun is shining on it. And the sun is God, and according to the shape of the vessels, according to the way in which the vessel is kept, the sun's light is seen on it. So the sun's light is seen on a vessel which has been painted inside black. You see different colored water. You see water differently in each vessel. So similarly, we should understand that it's the same Parabrahma everywhere. It's the same Sri Krishna who is everywhere. And fill our minds. So now our minds are filled with the sense of Aham, Sahamkara. Everything we see in the world is connected with ourselves. They are not connected with us, but even then we think of it in relation to ourselves. So we should take this Ahamkara out and fill it with Omkara. The mind should be filled with this. Om is the first word that signifies God. If we have got anger there, he will run away. If we have got desire there, then we will want the child to do what we want, then the child will get upset and it will run away. And if we are scared of anything, if we have, he says, Vita raga bhaya krodha manmaya mam upashita. So it's freed from raga bhaya krodha. Raga, desire. We want the child to do something like that. The Krishna child must do what he wants. Give me what I want. Then he will run away. You see, he doesn't like being controlled. The Krishna child will get scared if we have anger in our hearts. He will run away. And if we are scared, we won't even call. We won't even make place for him because the fear is filling our minds. So there is no place for him. So for us to bring the Krishna child in our hearts, as Sathguru says, that we should fill ourselves with him. He says, Manmaya mam upashita. Filling, they fill themselves with me. Both the saints, he says, Manmaya mam upashita. He says, Vita raga bhaya krodha. They are freed from raga bhaya krodha. Manmaya mam upashita. They are filled with me and they take refuge in me. So this is something which is we can do. This is something which is quite easy for us to do if we want to do it. And we have the perseverance to do it. We must want to do it. We must do it again and again. So Manmaya, making ourselves filled with him. So when a thought comes, an action comes, we examine it. Why are we doing it? And then we link it to God. Aparna is studying for her exams. She's studying for her exam because it's her duty to do. She's studying for the exam because she wants to progress in life. But then what should she do? She should say, I'm studying for my exams, I will do well, and I will do it to please Sri Krishna. Then what happens is that action is related to Krishna. So then Krishna comes into her mind. In Mam Upashita, going to him for help. Now in our lives we are all the time taking refuge in everybody except God. Anything except God. Because what do we think? That should this happen, then I will be able to do it. Should they give me help, I will do it. I will ask them to help, they will do it. I will do this for them. So, other people take a refuge in me, I take a refuge in somebody else. And everybody is there except Krishna. Everybody is in the picture except Krishna. So what do? We have to constantly see, I am doing this for Krishna. What happens, our relationship is not with the action. Our relationship is not with other people. Our relationship is only with Krishna. So when our relationship is only with Krishna, then other things don't matter. So the unhappiness which comes in the relationships, because whatever it is, there will be a certain amount of disappointment. Because other people are also human beings. They will want to live their lives the way they want. Other people are also expecting of us. They expect us to do various things. And they are getting disappointed with us. We are not conscious of it, but they are getting disappointed with us. So we have to understand that and by relating our actions to Krishna, there are two things. Other people, our actions don't hurt other people. We are able to, see for example, if you are doing something for somebody, you are doing it for the sake of Krishna, not for them. Then two things happen. One is you do your best. So they are happy. And because you are doing it for Krishna, you are able to also tell them, this is all I can do, I can't do more than that. So their expectations are different from what it would be otherwise. If you are doing it for yourself, then you may think you will be able to do more, and then you give them hopes and you disappoint them. When you are doing it for Krishna, then you are able to see things properly, how much you can do, and you tell them, if I can, I will do more, God wishes. And when they react, it doesn't matter. When they react, it's not for us. We are doing it for God, not for them. So then you don't feel bad. So once I told Sathguru, I was very disappointed. I told Sathguru, look at this man. When he sees me, he doesn't even look at my face, he walks past me. When he first met me, he is earning only 25,000 rupees. Now he is earning in lakhs, and he doesn't need me, so he just looks past me and walks past me. So Sathguru said one thing there, which is very, very, more. I didn't understand it then, but now I understand it more and more. It's now 5 years since Sathguru, 5-7 years since Sathguru told me. And as days go by, I am able to understand what a wonderful teaching that was. Sathguru just said one line, think of him as your son. Think of him as your son. So at that time I said, that time I told Sathguru, if I have a son, he won't be as ugly as this. That's what I said. But afterwards I was thinking about, why did Sathguru say, think of him as your son? Why should Sathguru tell me that? Then, after 4 years only of going on thinking about it, meaning came to me. That if it is your son who is doing something for you, you do something for your son and he is doing something like this to you, you would say, he's a boy like that, he's so bad, I don't know, there's nothing so bad as ungrateful child. He's so bad like this, he's looking to me after I've done so much for him. What to do? He's my son, I have to put up with it. So we are able to tolerate something from somebody whom we think is ours, but we are not able to take it from somebody else. So, what happens is that when we think of other people as being reflections of Krishna, we are not doing it for him, but we are doing it for Krishna, who's inside his heart, however ugly he will be. Then what happens is that I would not have got disappointed. Yeah, I thought, I'm doing this for him, and I was happy, he was happy, and I didn't expect him to do anything, but obviously inside me I expected him to, show some affection or gratitude, or something was there inside me, some expectation of result was there. So Sathguru just neatly punctured it, think of him as your son, then he becomes yours. So like that, we think of everybody as being related to us because of Krishna. We relate to them through Krishna. It's because of God that I am doing this for them. Then the poison of disappointment won't enter to us. Unhappiness won't come to us because we are not doing it for them. We did it for them because they are formed through which Krishna has come to me. So if I had thought that this man is a disciple, come here, I am serving him, looking after him, because I am doing it for Sathguru, I would not have got disappointed. So what Sathguru said is, that affection which we have for God, for our family, that we apply it everywhere, because everywhere God is there. So he says, Manmaya Mam Upashritaha, taking refuge in me alone. So what happens is that when we stop doing things because of other people, we stop doing things because we want to do it, or we stop expecting things. We are Mam Pashita, relying on other people. We should rely only on God, he says. So we don't have any expectations. We don't have any, how does one put it? You know? Yes, the expectation. We don't have expectation that that person will do something, and we don't go to them expecting something from them. So there are two levels of expectation. One is when one approaches people are expecting them to do something. The other is the passive sort, they will come and do for me. So when both of them go away, then that knowledge that we should free ourselves from raga, bhaya, krodha. These are very basic things in human beings. Because we relate to everything with whether we like it, whether we don't like it. Raga and dvesha, raga and krodha, same. And is something going to change the way we do? Is it going to change or block us in any way? So that fear is there. So when we take off all these things, then what happens is that our reactions are not pulled in various directions. We don't think of this, how do I react to that, how do I react to that. Unconsciously in our mind, there are a lot of pulls which are happening. What we don't know about, there's a lot of things happening in our minds which we don't know about. So what happens when we free ourselves from that? We get free, we get happy. That's when happiness happens. Happiness does not come from the satisfaction of the desire. See, now, how does desire work? The Upanishad says very simply. The liking is the first part of it. Then when suppose we get something nice in our hands, that we have got it. Then more the happiness, then now, see for example we get a mango, we like it, we are happy. We have had mangoes earlier, so that happiness is now in our mind, that we have now we got something which we associate with pleasure. Then the next stage is we are going to eat the mango. Next is when we start eating the mango, that happiness. Then the fourth one is when that mango is being eaten by us, that joy, that pleasure, the taste. And it relates to earlier mangoes which we have eaten. And we have had this, we are eating a mango, we have eaten mangoes, and mangoes are available to us in the future also we will have mangoes. So these three states, past, present, future, mangoes are there in our minds. So that mango desire becomes freed from, we get freed from it. We don't want, since we have got mangoes, we get reassured we will have mangoes. Since the past mangoes are remembered, that happiness is remembered, and so for that time the mind gets calmed. The mind does not act. Then when the mind does not have any activity going on, the bliss of Brahman shines for a minute. It shines for a minute. That time when there is no activity, the bliss of Brahman is shining. But we assume that mango is associated with because that moment happened during the mango eating process. We think that the bliss is coming from the mango, but actually it's not coming from the mango. It's coming because we are free from the desire for mangoes. So the freedom gives the happiness, and because of our wrong perception, we think that the satisfaction of the desire has given the so these are two different things, but because of our avidya we think it. So when we are able to constantly apply ourselves to this thought that these desires are what makes our lives unhappy, and then the anger also will come down, because desires are not going to be obstructed, because desires are not going to be there as such. That is, if God wants us to have it, we will have it. Then that we get a lot of peace. He says that freed from raga and dvesha, liking and disliking, and then when we relate to the world, Krishna doesn't say go away from the world. He says free yourself from, don't see the world as I like, I don't like. See the world as what it is. Then what happens? Such a person has got control of his mind. He's able to see things as it is. He's not trapped in this like and dislike. Then he gets peace. Such a person only gets peace. So for that we have to constantly apply the mind. Is this, am I acting because of desire? And pull the mind back out of it. So another way what Sathguru says is, constantly apply yourself to Krishna. Fill the mind with Krishna, let the mind go and do other work when it has to go, and then bring it back to Krishna. When we do that, then our hearts get happy. And everything is a matter of habit. So once we start doing that, our mind, the habit of coming back to Krishna will come. Then what happens? The feeling will come, my mind is always on Krishna. But in the back of the mind, desires will be there. So we have to be aware of ourselves. How is it, what is happening to us? Are we really thinking of Krishna? When we think of Krishna, is the thought of the word coming behind. So when we are able to fill our minds with Krishna, means in all levels we fill our minds with Krishna. There was a small thing, I was talking with a group of children in our school. So there was something which Sathguru says, which is applicable to them as well as to us. What suggestion I made to them was, Sathguru says, when we go to bed, we review the whole day, think of the whole day, what have we done the whole day. And when we go through the whole day, see with detachment the good things we've done, the bad things we've done. Don't look too much at the bad things done by other people, because their mind will get very absorbed in that. Just look at what we've done and why we did it. Offer it to God and say that all this is done and I'm offering it to you. And then when in the next morning you say, I'm going to do, getting into this day, I'm offering the day to you. I'm giving you everything, all my actions today to you. And make me do the right thing. So, in the Puranas, in the Dharma Shastras, there was one line which I could not understand for many years. He said, the morning's prayer wipes away the sins of the night, and the evening prayer wipes away the day's sins. So I used to think, this is wrong, you do say one prayer and all your sins go, how can it be? But the morning prayer, it fortifies ourselves. So any vibration collected in the night and the memories of our night, what we did the previous day, in the morning we offer the day to God. So then what happens is that association which we have done, the wrong things which we have done, because we are going to offer the day to God, that goes away. And whatever we collect in the day, by offering it to God and withdrawing ourselves from the wrong actions, it makes those sins go away. So Punya and Papa are forms of Shakti which are coming through us. Light comes through a colored glass, it looks blue, it looks yellow, the color of the light is that, but actually the light has no color. So the Shakti all around us has no particular nature, but coming through the action of good and bad, especially the mental attitude, then what happens is that it becomes either good or bad. So that Shakti sticks on to us. And then after some time, it causes us to do actions, it causes us to be born in situations which are suitable for exhausting that bad karma, for exhausting that good karma. So that's how we are born in these situations. And say for example, when you cook, if you are going to fry anything, if you are going to use some elachi or something, the kitchen would smell of it. And you are working in the kitchen. So you'll also be spending it. But after some time, as the day goes by, that's when it will wear off. Similarly, the karma will be there with you, it will stay there with you, then after some time it will go off. So, similarly, as that karma gets worked off, it goes away. But we don't have to wait all that time. What we do is we link ourselves to God. So then only the smell of his chandana will come with us. Other things will go away. So when we direct our actions to God, when we do things for Him, then we are freed from all this punya and papa. So he says that many people, many saints have attained my feet, have attained me by freeing themselves. So by freeing ourselves from anger, from desires and from fear, then our minds are free. We get a lot of peace. That's why when we meditate early morning, there's disturbances are less. Disturbances are less, then it reminds us of less things. So there's less with Bhaya, Krodha and Raga. So what we do is we free our minds of these things. There's a lot of space. And in that space, Sri Krishna will come and sit. If we have to make a place for him to come. And we have to call him. If we call him, he will come. Sathguru once joked, God also has got self-respect. If you don't call him, he won't come. So we should all call him with Sathguru's grace. We should all be able to call him wholeheartedly, and he will come and live with us. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu, Sri Sathguru Arpanamastu.